As we get off across the map and we get rolling here with this Overlord. You saw a video of some Brits trying, they were confused. Yeah, well, I understand what a biscuit is in America. We call biscuits like, yeah, like, not necessarily cookies. Cookies are like, it's a specific type of biscuit. But yes, biscuits here are like, I don't even know how you, I guess little baked things. I mean, basically like a cookie, but like there's different types of them, right? Like we call it, a cookie is a very specific type of biscuit, I suppose. But yes, I know what a biscuit is, so I'm not surprised by it. I have in fact heard of things from America before. Anyways, back to the TvZ. We had a little bit of a pause here, not sure what the issue was or so, but we get right back to it and factoring a reactor coming up from Clem, who was opening in a very standard manner. Really nothing too much to shout about on his point of view. Obviously, over on Dark's side, we were talking about how he's just set up into the free hatch, pretty standard and stuff as well, also looking pretty normal. The early stages of fuelings work their way out over the left-hand side. And the interesting part here from Clem is no early Reaper, right? So, oh, the Reaper's out, it's just gone down and we missed it or something? But did we see the Reaper die? I feel like I might have been looking at chat. I didn't hear it die either, though, when I was reading chat. Can you just go Marine Reactor? To me, the timing doesn't line up as well, because it is Marine Reactor at the very least. Maybe just Marine Reactor. The pause has completely thrown me off. My timing. Anyways. Get into the tech lab on the barracks. We just have ourselves the, again, Rotron coming up. We got ourselves a few more Lings and drones all on the way through. Queen production continues with the Rotron. We do see a little bit of what Dark intends for on the early stages of this game then. So we do start to see his kind of plan of action to get something done, to defend with, and so on. Again, very Dark-esque to play into the Roaches early. That really is kind of Dark in a nutshell, so that should come as no surprise to anybody. Familiar with Dark's game, you're probably familiar that he likes to drop an early Rotron. That's why I like that Clem is building the Banshee as well, just respecting what his opponent is known for doing, which is a lot of Roach stuff. So he will build the Banshee. Even just a cloakless Banshee defensively is never a bad thing against Dark, in case he does get the Roaches aggressively. But even just double Banshee with Cloak and just playing Hellion Banshee, I think is a very standard and solid way to play in the early stages of TvZ, because then you've got the Banshees still alive, especially when you're as good as Clem and you keep those Banshees alive throughout the early game while harassing. Then you've got those Banshees alive to help negate some of the potential Roach timings that come later in the game, so that is almost always a good thing to aim for. Well, Hellions heading down the bottom side. We just have going around the left as a few Roaches just going to begin to move out. We do have our, again, Banshee cloaking on the way through, more Hellions in the center. And yeah, a few Ravages made, but like I said, I don't think we're getting overly aggressive or anything right here. Seems pretty chill for the most part, with the Hellions even pushing back the Roaches. Definitely doesn't seem like Dark is going to come across the map and find a ton of success or anything along those lines, so seeming pretty decent as, again, a few more drones come up, the lag continues in, and a fourth hatchery starts in the gold base. So Dark is absolutely starting to look comfortable with where he's at right now, absolutely seemingly feeling his way into just a nice little spot. No issues for the moment as the Banshee will come by and just, again, dodge away from some piles, and they really will be just what stops you from pushing forward right now with this Roach Ravage. It really makes it so that you just can't move forward with it. And so that keeps you back, and even going to see the Banshees continue to get some chips on the army throughout this as well. So, again, really taking a good advantage of the situation right now. Banshees, though, now getting in range of a Spore. Need to be careful. One of those Banshees about to run out of energy. It's the one with low HP as well. So, scary moment, but the entire defense is gone on the right side. And so Clem dives the third base, and he forces Dark out of position with the Queens. And suddenly this is mega damage done. 16 drones go down. And Dark, well, that is just brutal damage. And that is just what Clem has been so good at lately as well. I feel like especially on some of the maps where Zergs are meant to generally look pretty okay, I feel as though Clem shows up and he just forces himself to get, or forces a way to get early damage done by being so proactive, and I've been very impressed by it, honestly. It's been very fun to watch. Clem is really continuing to be a treat of a player to experience lately. I know this is maybe not going to make for maybe as exciting of a game, because now Clem's just very ahead, and there's potential that this then ends early on a follow-up push, but it's the movement of the units that opens up the opportunities for plays like that. You're doing this against the very best guys in the world, and you're kind of just twirling them around your finger, right, and being like, yeah, let's go over here, let's follow these Banshees, oh no, and boom, he finds the perfect moment when everything's out of the way to just strike with those Hellions. And again, when he strikes, he makes sure it's a devastating strike too. Because a lot of times you could have maybe tried to go with the Hellions, and Dark's like, whoa, wait a second, I need to be careful about that. And then he's a lot more cautious in the first place. But no, he shows them at the right point, and yeah, again. But a lot of praise for Clem right now, guys, because he is playing at a very, very high level. He really is one of the best at the moment. I do love that he won Atlanta for the reason of just, it is kind of exciting to see a Clem that now we know can win offline tournaments, can perform at offline events. That's really exciting because I feel like Clem was always a little bit on the backseat in discussions when we went into offline tournaments, just because he hadn't shown his ability to go through and win one of those, I suppose. Even though he'd had good results before, it always felt like something just went wrong along the way. That's just so exciting, building up into Katowice, of course, as Medivacs here pushing forwards and trying to allow some harassment to be done. Just see +2 melee coming up, the link speed and the bailing speed coming up as well. Medivacs continue around down the south, as we do have Zerglings ready to try and greet said Medivacs. Just going to be sat over here, ready to say hello. The Marines dropping off, we're not going to do too much, as the Medivacs will get shot away at by those Queens. A little bit more damage being dealt on that bit of a cleanup for the moment. Well, tank shots coming out, and they're going to go blasting away as well, so again, doing their job of playing defense in the center makes it difficult for Dark just to surge across. Again, Dark played the melee upgrades. He's always been aiming towards the Ling Bane, but also the Ultralist Cavern coming up. This is something he's been heading into for a while, and I'm a little worried. Clem right now, supply has dropped a little. Again, with the tank line, I don't think he'll be broken through. By the time Dark gets to Ultras, Clem will have rebuilt up and will be more or less maxed as well, so that would be the concern. If Dark was able to push with anything that wasn't like super Roach focused, maybe then Clem's supply would be, like I say, slightly concerning. That is just not the case right here or right now. So those 2-2 melee upgrades do continue in. Oh, tanks on siege for a moment. That's going to be an opportunity, and now the tanks are going to be a little clumped up, although the Ravagers never got far enough forward for that to matter, so Clem gets away with it. Goes unpunished. As the Roach Ravager Bane sets up once more. Stem up once again. The Ling Roach Ravager all pressing forwards. In we go. The tank's going to get hit by a bunch of those blinding clouds, so they're all going to be taken out of the equation, but Dark loses so much in doing this, and so Clem, even with some Marines left over, is going to try and chase some Ravagers down, try and find additional value at the very end of this battle, just trying to find everything possible. About to finish up his own 2-2 upgrades as well. Dark is on his way to his 2-2s, so that is not an issue either. So you continue to see the Medivacs loading up and moving about once again. Again, Carapace coming by, the Adrenal Glands getting set up. Chitinous playing is coming through also. And just a few more drones coming about. Spoke Roller coming up. There's Bioforce coming by and just retaking the Watchtower. Marines will unload, go towards the Overlords. And just a few more shots on those Overlords. Damage being dealt. So 3-3 on the way up. The Ghost is coming through also, so just going to see a bunch of those Ghosts. The late game being established by Clem. And still holding positions in the center. I'm a little bit worried for Dark because I look at these armies and I kind of look at them and I'm like, well, to me, these aren't armies that are going to come pushing forwards. And as long as Ghosts are out, I'm not sure the Ultras are going to be the saving grace that he maybe needs them to be right now. Fire still coming over. Going to be seeing the Ultra starting to move forward as well. Going through just a little bit. Fire stimming around. We will eat a couple corrosive bowels though, and that's a Widow Mine that will get dropped in the process. So one more Widow Mine gone, and well, Clem saves this one again. You're going to start seeing very cute bits of micro coming through. Dark does get built up to being maxed, It's now the quality of armies we have to discuss, and I think I've been leading into my idea of I just don't know if Dark's quality army quality is really there at the moment. Clem is going to move into Liberators and Liberator range. Dark's army, to me, needs to be moving around the map and finding constant counterattacks and damage here, there, and just kind of absolutely everywhere, which I know is not exactly the position Dark is in right now, you know? So I really feel like that's something which, which Dark needs to be doing. Otherwise, his army, to me, does not just win straight-up fights after straight-up fight, but then I don't really see how he sets himself up to take anything but straight-up fights. Clem continues to have control of the map, and he will be able to force some fights here, potentially. You have Dark splitting a few units to the left and to the right, so he's in a couple of different places on the map at the moment, as his Zerglings will get nipped away at. Siege tank firing up as well. Now just going to go trying to get rid of the siege tank there, but the siege tank just about survives. These Lings fighting on their own is never going to be pretty. A couple of snipes go down, the Ultra falls, and so Clem takes advantage of the setup that Dark had, put in place, but he never had a chance to make use of it. Clem shuts it down, and again, just finding good value as Dark. Playing with less of a bank than Clem should tell you that this game has already been just very Clem favored. He's been able to trade well. He's been able to keep the Zerg back. I mean, Dark is only on 76 drones, so his economy really isn't exactly amazing either. More ghosts and the rest of the bio coming through. More units of Clem just coming across there as well. So again, continue to move things into position. Just going to be having our bio coming about once more. 3 melee upgrades plus the carapace coming through as well. We also see that burrow is about to be finished. So a little bit of everything still coming by. Liberator sets up around the left as our bio takes the watchtower, which is obviously always a funky position because of how choked up it is. It makes for some interesting fights, some interesting situations. Ultra, Lings, and Banes moving forward once again, and we have a CC that will be under a little bit of fire as well. So CC taking some shots. Our bio units coming forward to try and greet this, and that's the big thing, is that you've got units in position. This is not Dark catching Clem out of location. Maybe here on the right side he will. He's also going to stream into this orbital, so now Clem has to run back across here. A couple of ghosts doing what they can against some of the Ultras. So far, 12 SCVs lost. How many more can we find? Up to 18 now, as a few more Banelings are connecting through. Still, I feel like only 18. It felt like a lot of Zerg going down for only 18 workers. I really expected that to be more, honestly. I was waiting for it to pop up like another 15 or so, perhaps, because there were so many bases that just seemingly got caught so unawares. And also, I don't think any of the bases died, right? So I don't think we've had to replace any. So that's a bonus as well. Clem not even having to replace during this fight. And again, Dark just, to me, not finding enough damage or value out of this army. He's building a Spire, but he's very much so still on the same army he's been on for a while. With Liberators coming out, the Spire is probably very much so just a way to try and deal with Corruptors. To deal with Liberators by getting the Corruptors. And again, that, in my eyes, isn't necessarily kind of a long-term solution to this game, as we are going to see Liberators sieging up, but Lings Ravagers trying to move through, a couple Corrosive Bars coming down. We will go snipe, snipe, sniping away. The Overseer's getting pushed back as well there, as the Ultra Cavern, the Lings, and Ravagers all continue through. A few more Banes coming up as well. Well, still going forward, a couple of Banelings being picked away at. Lings and Ultras going to move up to the top side also, so in they go. And as we just run onto this base, well, Clem has still got a lot of his army in the center of the map. He will set up over here, did not find any snipes on those ghosts, was not watching as they arrived to the battle. And now he's going to have to go running. So this time Clem loses SCVs, loses a base, and again is pushed all the way back by those Ultras. In the center of the map, doesn't look like he's doing anything particularly wild. Just a little bit of trading out, as he is going to find some snipes finally on these Ultras. Finally we'll find some efficiency to the end of this. Again, banks are not high on either side, so neither player has a huge bank. Clem working with less SCVs though. Obviously we'll have some mules to supplement that economy, however. Important to note, because at this point, if they have even banks, you kind of think, well, the next fight's got to be very decisive, but, you know, especially if Dark's buying more, then Clem really needs to put some work in. And maybe he does, but I think with the mules, the economies are really not too far apart. Clem rebuilds a bunch of SCVs quickly as well, because, well, You can just do that when you've got this amount of bases available around the map. You've got a spare CC here and there as well, so it's not just the bases you're mining from, it's commensurate that nearby too. So SCVs really do rebuild quickly and effectively to get back on track. Handful more infestors coming out. The +1 flyer, flyer weapons coming up as well. So yeah, weapons for Dark is, again, I can only imagine he wants to get some corruptors in here to try and help deal with the incoming upgraded number of liberators. Just going to run by for the moment as well. So running up to the top side, a couple of Widow Mines setting up to try and get something done. It's going to be seeing the liberators continue to play the defense, continue to hold back. Looking good there for sure. Well, a couple of lurking infestors could actually maybe be very interesting as well. As you see the big liberator push heading down to the bottom side though, so this all gets set up and comes across. This hatchery is going to go down. I mean, that's a gold base. What's maybe more important is the Spire right there that's upgrading +1 flyer. I mean, that would just be a good snipe. Get rid of the Spire, get rid of an upgrade that's coming with it. That's obviously something Dark wants. It's a shame that Clem didn't step a tiny bit further forward just to grab it and ensure the kill. You see Clem pulling back defensively once again. Now Clem, you can see the bank in play. 2k to 1k. Where Dark is absolutely strapped for cash. Dark has nothing going spare at the moment, which is really quite wild. You see a couple of corrosive balls gonna pop up into the skies. Going to find some of these liberators as well. Still trying to get rid of the harassment that's coming in around the map. Trying to slow this down and resettle things just for the moment. The more we can resettle, the more we can slow it down. Happy we should end up being. Thank you, by the way, Subsolar, 34-month resub on the tier 2, just as we have a moment or two of calm. I'm worried for Dark, because one fight which goes the way it should go, which is just, you know, Dark trading a little bit inefficiently, and he has no bank to rebuild off of. Actually, even just a fight, he has no rebuild. But Clem does, so that's a good start at least. Hits the fungal growth, the lead into those ghosts. Now we're going to evacuate the medevacs though. Corruptors are chasing the libs. And this is a fight where Clem was extremely unprepared, so this is probably the best fight you're going to get as Dark. He's basically lost nothing thus far. So this is the best fight you're going to get. A couple Balins still coming through. We're going to start being able to push back a bit more as Clem. I mean, this is what Dark needed. Something to give him some hope, something to give him some value, something to help him out a little bit as the few Banes roll up the ramp. Gonna try and knock open that location. Liberation shots still coming through on those Ultras. Widow Mines for a whole bunch of the Zerglings. And the Liberators will seek up one more time as they try and deny everything else. Now Snipes just coming all over the place, like I say. Dark has no rebuild, and units just started collapsing on themselves at that. With my £1, I don't even think that's a £1 bet, but honestly, I feel like Maru is kind of getting into shape again. I actually think the way Maru's been playing online the last couple of days could actually really set Maru up for something. I'm very much so on the Clem hype train, but I don't know. An in-strength Maru, he was also dominant in TvT, might be somewhat unstoppable. Clem in the upper right, and Dark in the bottom left as we get into game number 2. I'm excited that Maru's looking good again for sure. It's kind of a question mark of, hey, is he going to get back in shape? He definitely didn't look good for a while. Definitely seemed like he was taking the game a bit more chill. But he's stepping it up again, which is exciting ahead of Katowice. Katowice just lines up to be, once again, a great tournament, doesn't it? Katowice is always so good, to be fair. Hashcastle pool coming through. The barracks is getting set up. Has to take a few moments to get established right now. So you have this SCV coming down to the low ground. Just going to go chilling out over here. Other SCV just going to pull in. And the overlord continues through as well, so we get that on the go. CC coming up for the moment. Get that on the way. I'm just going to see our hatch gas and pool coming up as well. So a little bit of everything on the go for now. Get ourselves ready to rumble. As that Reaper continues to sit tight and hang around. Overlord obviously just scouting about. Everything is fairly normal. Clem is not going low ground barracks or anything either. So once again, a fairly standard setup initially. Again, this map with those speedy zones can definitely get shortened a little bit by those, so there's something for us to look at in terms of maybe a possibility, maybe an opportunity. Players to play a bit more aggressive. Maybe in the early stages, some roaches may try and get across the map or something, but it's so hard to justify roach attacks early game nowadays, because if the Terran sees them, boom, you just start up a Cyclone or two, and Cyclones are so good defensively as units right now. They're extremely good. Very difficult to really stop those in their power, so yeah, that's a tough one for sure as well. As this Reaper goes back up through the center, Queen is going to be nearby, and you have just a few Lings wandering around, seeing if they can get about and maybe cause a little bit of trouble, even maybe to spot what the next couple of units coming out are going to be. Yeah, they really have wrapped all the way around the Reaper, so the Reaper is not going to be able to stop these guys. 2 Cyclones on the way up, so Clem is already actually preparing very safely. Actually, this is something he was enjoying doing. We cast him the other day, where he goes into a couple Hellions and a couple Cyclones. He gets a push going. Who was he playing against again? Who did Clem play in the last match? It was Shin, right? Okay, so I went into being like, oh, I'm really excited for this match, and then Clem was like, you shouldn't be. Yeah. So he was doing this a bit against Shin, where he's just kind of aggressive with the Hellion Cyclone. And again, it's just all about what Clem usually likes to do, which is being active on the map, you know, having some units to harass with in the early stages, so you can put yourself into kind of an advantage. You can take control early. It's not overly committed. Cyclone's going to get rid of an early Overlord. There's another Overlord out here as well. Supply block already for Dark is not exactly pretty when you're looking to find a defense in the near future. Has to build 2 more Overlords, currently slowed down in his production. There's a couple of Hellions already just poking forward over here as well. Your Queen's nearby, and that's where the initial defense against the Cyclone should come from. As Zerglings are on the way too, with Lings popping out, we should be in a bit of a better spot. As Cyclones move back over, we are reinforcing. We were reinforcing with a couple more Hellions, so I guess these are the ones that have already arrived. Looks as though that's about it for now from Clem. I'm not going to find too much, but obviously still has presence on this side of the map, which you don't necessarily always get to this sort of extent, so that's a definite benefit there as well. It's a lot of Banes morphing in, so actually going to see what Dark's plan is. It's just to be super aggressive on the Ling Bane counter, so he's just going to send it. Is that going to be something that Clem is going to be able to be prepped to deal with? He has a couple more Banelings start up as well. Plenty of Lings, plenty of Banes coming through. And you start to wander forward to the natural expansion. The Lings will come out as a lead. And there's the Ling Bane starting to float on by here, and we're just going to be seeing Clem not really ready for this, so right from the get-go, he's going to have his Marines just having to run back. He does buy a lot of time by running away at least, so he gives himself a chance to maybe get other units back home to play defense. But Clem definitely in desperation mode right here. A couple of Banes morphing on that ramp as the Lings break into the main. Clem, again with the Cyclones coming back over, a couple of Hellions already in the main defending too. Just tries to find himself continuation right now. A couple of Banes still trying to find connections. I think everything is healthy enough that the Baneling shots shouldn't matter too much here. You know, if Clem doesn't lose any more SCVs right now, never mind. I was going to say that his working count really isn't so bad, but yeah, then he lost a whole bunch more SCVs. That would do it. Yeah. Maybe enough then from Dark, as he starts to drone, he starts to Evo chamber it up. I was going to say, initially Clem was like, you know, not too far behind in workers, then you've always got that kind of consideration of, well, you know, it's a Terran play, they're going to have mules to help, they can harass themselves to put some damage out too. These things always add up to help for sure. And still moving about for a little bit. Well, upgrades continuing in. You see how 1-1 upgrades now. Combat shield continuing. Freezing Hammer God Clem also just going to be active back down the map again with these units. Obviously, Clem trying to retake map control at this point, but again, it's not going to be a fun setup. They're playing from quite the deficit. Definitely some hurdles to overcome right now. He's actually okay army supply-wise. It's the workers where he's going to struggle perhaps as Dark sets up more banelings to come running through here next couple of moments. So these banelings are going to wander forward. In they go. Three SCVs going down. Again, the melee upgrade's coming up. The bailing speed is coming through. Clem is going to stim in. He's going to have the Hellbats to help support this attack as well. Well, you know, the one thing that Dark is missing is obviously any sort of tech. As Clem runs to the corner, he's going to have to lift and maybe drop the main, leaving the Hellbats to fight these Queens for a little bit. So trying to find some damage. SCV's going down at the same time, though. So even when Clem finds some damage back in, he's in trouble back at home. Loses all the SCVs on his third. He loses 8 while killing 4. And that's definitely not the trade Clem was looking for. He wanted a way back into this, not a way to trade out even worse once again. I think overall he probably did okay efficiency-wise. Just Dark is at a 16 worker lead, so Dark can 100% afford that at the moment. And more of a worker lead. Back to a 20 worker lead now as well. Just back to that worker advantage that he wants to be at. And he wants to play this game forward from. And which he knows that playing from this point should give him some good positions. So have that on the go as we just move about into all the 2-2 upgrades on the way. Group of Spines still coming up, plus 2 melee is coming in. The Hydras are coming up as well as we continue in with those. As the medevacs load up, and they are going to go make their way back around to the bottom side. Bunch of banelings coming down this ramp, but these medevacs have to go boosting backwards. That's a little painful for sure. And now you see Marine's going to try and dive into the main as a few of these drones pretty much be immediately under fire. A couple of Queens already taking some damage. So some shots coming off right there. The rest of these Lings still coming through as well. And the defense is found. Still Dark not losing too many workers, so maintaining a lot of the economy for the moment. Hydra moves to the center again. The Marines are still moving around. They're going to come back through the middle again, trying to knock down some crew spread, trying to open up some space. The second factory up as well, as he is going to have to use the Widow Mine here, as Dark splits pretty decently. Minimizes any effect of that. Obviously, Widow Mines. Clem definitely needs the Widow Mines to hit well, I think, to still help him get back in this. He's just going to type GG, as that is apparently going to be too much. Dark is going to tie this up, at least well, because the moment the Terran knows about it, boom, we put up a bunker, and the game is entirely different from the, minute 1. Dark and Clem enter game number 3 on site Delta. Will Clem claw his way back to the victory? Will Dark keep the resurgence coming? As the winner goes to the playoffs, the loser will again have to play in the 2-2 matches on Monday. And if you play in those 2-2 matches, there's potentially you end up in Seed 7 or 8. And Seed 7 and 8, one of those guys will play against a very informed Maru. The other will play against a hero who's been looking very good recently as well. Especially in this tournament, Hero has been on fire. So, yeah, definitely not fun. TLDR, definitely not going to be great. As you have, again, our barracks coming up, our hatchery coming in. A couple of drones are continuing out also. All of this hatch gas and pool by. And that's obviously the overboard. Scouts up the sides also. To see a little bit what's going on. Well, CC drops on the low ground again. No low ground rep, so we're not going to see anything like that from Clem throughout the entirety of this series. Again, this is match 2 of 6 series today in Masters Coliseum. Finally, a longer day from the Masters Coliseum. As an SCV moves out from the front. If he heads into the natural, gonna look to see just a bit of what's going on here. Reaper starts to head back down to the bottom right-hand side. So back down to the bottom right. There we go. A couple of queens coming through. The Ling speed is getting settled. A few Lings are gonna go and fight against the Reaper for a couple of moments as well. So see that Ling speed coming by. A couple of Lings and drones all coming out as well. And so far so good with that CC coming up on the natural. See the game continuing into play right now. So have our Reaper just moving about a little bit. Control at the front here. Again, that Ling speed, the Lings, the Queen. Continuing to come through, and all of that on the go. Starboard and a couple of Hellions coming through as well. So we bring a little bit of everything together. The Orbital Command is just on its way in as well. So everything just harassing through, waiting for something a little bit more decisive or action-packed to happen. The Reaper, once again, just going to dance with these circlings a little bit. We go back and forth. The Lings continue to chase. A couple of Hellions will go diving by, and that's where Clem is going to try and find some damage, but there's Lings there, and so Clem's like, oh no, that's not actually a fight I want to take at all. So now he's getting chased, and can he actually save these Hellions? Absolutely not, number one. Number two, the one in the front, probably not either, unless these other Hellions get the job done. Nope, we still lose that one as well. That was Clem just kind of digging a little bit too deep for damage there. I mean, I get it. You're trying to run those two Hellions in, but it just shows the Dark was prepared for it. He was like, okay, I lost one game to Hellions running through. Obviously, it wasn't quite in this sort of fashion or so, but he's just going to make sure that absolutely does not happen a second time. He's going to be completely on top of it, completely ready to play, and yeah, just absolutely shuts it down. No problem at all for Dark. And that's got to feel pretty good for him initially as well. As you just have the Banshee and the Cloaking coming up. So Banshee and Cloak, a couple of Hellions, and the Stimpak coming through as well. As yo, Ev Nasty Man, how you doing? Thank you so much for 54-month free sub. Thanks so much for the 4.5 years. As Ling's coming through, and they're going to go nibbling up at some of these SCVs. The run by from Dark already looking good. What does Clem have on the other side? 4 Hellions tapping away at Queens are not exactly seeming super exciting. The Lings haven't gotten SCVs just yet, but the Hellions continue to go down to the front. Hellions in the main base defensively will try and be the heroes of the moment. The SCVs do go down so far. Just having ourselves, again, a few more scores coming up. Flare on the way. There's a couple of drones coming through as well. Banshee is going to be in here for quite a bit of damage. A bunch of these drones continue to fall. 4 or 5 workers getting dropped at the moment, so again, a lot of shots just for now. The Lings continue to stream into the natural expansion. In they go. Some of these SCVs going to get hunted down. Six drones going down as a lot of SCVs go down as well, though the run-bys are really now starting to find their strength as they continue to pressure through. 10 SCVs have fallen. The Stimpak is coming up to completion very shortly as well. Still a couple of Hellions on the way. The Banshee is coming through. I'm going to be seeing... well, that Hellion Banshee will have some work to do. I think Clem will absolutely want some work because he's... oh no, he's not happy with this at all. Clem looks completely befuddled. He's like, what? He ran by? I just lost my Hellions? Like, I just sat them against the Queens? I think that image of Clem pretty much tells you everything you need to know. As the Banshee very nearly goes down there as well. And even just taking early shots like that means that now this Banshee is going to be much more difficult to succeed with, because now it pretty much has to go home and repair. Any shots it would go down. It's just not worth it. Well, Clem's going into extra factories and hyperflight rotors, so he's going to try and mech it from this point onwards, which I feel like is more of a statement of just where he's at in this game. I don't know, man. Playing mech from like an even position oftentimes doesn't feel good. Playing mech from behind? Hard to say that I'm a fan. Hard to be excited about it. I'm just going to be seeing this Banshee try and do what it can. Maybe, though, it's the switch up you need to catch Dark a little off guard, a little underprepared. The Dark finishing up Aspire. Mutas are going to be a fantastic answer to hyperflight rotors. That's a complete shutdown from the very first moment here. I think, well, yeah, obviously the fact that Dark's gone Aspire really just shuts down what Clem is hoping to bring himself back in the game with, which is a bunch of great Banshee harass. In this situation, it's very easy to be like, oh, well, Clem should have just played Bio, right? Well, yeah, probably should have done, but he doesn't know what Dark is doing. In his mind, this is a cool switch-up that might have actually worked in terms of bringing himself back into it, and instead, like I say, he's just walking into the hard counter of it. He's about attacking with Hellion Banshee, and these mutas are nearby. They're going to turn, they're going to come fight. The only thing missing is an Overseer. And the Overseer can't actually keep up with the Banshees right now as Clem. Nah, he knows it. He saw the moment he saw the mutas, he was like, oh man, there's no way. This was not a pretty game at all from Clem. And Dark gets the win. I think